And an entire extended family would have been living there. And again, you can't see it so well there, but yeah, on the back side, the upslope side, is access to the top floor. The reason for that is they would, originally by horses and things, but later on with tractors, bring the feed for the cattle to that top floor, where it could be, on the left, a little garden made by apparently retired people who, just wanted to do something in their spare time. The animal feed, up to the top floor where it can be kept, and also act as insulation a bit for the whole house. And then the cattle in these Black Forest houses would always be down at the bottom, where they were actually a major source of heat for the whole house. Here's another farmhouse on the right where maybe you can see a little bit better, where our side, the top floor here, is kind of at our level, and the rest of the house going down the slope, and there's some cows. They always look so happy here. I think this is a good place to be a cow. If I was a cow, I would like it here. So yeah, the cows would be on the bottom floor. And of course, that meant the whole house would smell of cow, but that's something they were used to. And then the feed, there would be like a chute, and you could like this shovel the feed during the winter down to the cows where they could eat it. Also on the bottom floor, the massive stone bottom foundation floor would be the kitchen, and the stoves would be kept running all day, both for heat and to cook food, usually very simple kind of food, just something that will fill you up, based on potatoes or eggs or whatever they had. The women spent much of the time in these little kitchens, which didn't help them in terms of life expectancy because there was continuously soot. These rooms, these kitchens would be black with soot. Here's another farmhouse on the right, again with a little access to the top floor. So life expectancy of women here was not that long, maybe as little as 30 years, because of having to always work in these difficult conditions, and of course on the right you got a place selling plants and flowers and whatnot. And the little river to our right, there's the Glotte, one that flows through here. Here's a typical German supermarket, Rewe. Doesn't look like much. Weirdly, Germans spend less on food than any other West Europeans. I think it's fair to say that they're not known for their cuisine in general. If it's okay for me to just say that, living here. Yeah, you eat to get full and live. And they do have some cool specialties, but of course they're just not known for great cuisine like the French are. And to the left again, some of these last vineyards that we'll be seeing, already not so easy to grow on these hills. And they don't have the terraces so much like we had at the Kaiserstuhl, so it's really hard to harvest those grapes on those steep slopes. One day, good, and then they would drink beer afterwards, which was a new thing and not so well received at first. There's a swimming pool on the left there. Every German, seems like every village has its own swimming pool. Germans, Badekultur, which means bathing culture, is a really big thing in Germany. Almost every village or city will have one or multiple swimming pools, indoor, outdoor. Usually to get in is really inexpensive. It's just a thing in Germany that to be able to go somewhere and bathe. It could also be like a lake. Most of the lakes here are okay to swim in, or even rivers and things. They love their water, and in the summer, like today for example, on a Sunday, there'll be many people going out, not just to walk around on the nice mountain paths and things that we're going to be passing by, but to hang around on a little sea or in a swimming pool. Yeah, they love that here. there on the left, a little guest house with a Biergarten. That is something that is open here and you can do on Sundays is drink. Just to say, I was American by birth and upbringing. I think I said today, these days, Americans, I think, mostly have a very positive view of Germans, but it was not so true when they were first coming over, because among other things, they would go to church on a Sunday, good, and then they would drink beer afterwards, which was a new thing and not so well received at first. There's a swimming pool on the left there. Every German, seems like every village has its own swimming pool. Germans, Badekultur, which means bathing culture, is a really big thing in Germany. Almost every village or city will have one or multiple swimming pools, indoor, outdoor. Usually to get in is really inexpensive. It's just a thing in Germany that to be able to go somewhere and bathe. It could also be like a lake. Most of the lakes here are okay to swim in, or even rivers and things. They love their water, and in the summer, like today, for example, on a Sunday, there'll be many people going out, not just to walk around on the nice mountain paths and things that we're going to be passing by, but to hang around on a little sea or in a swimming pool. Yeah, they love that here. And from here we climb and climb and climb up into the mountains of the Black Forest. Animals we get here, let's see, predators, the lynx, really big wildcat. You never see them. They slink around and they'll see you way before you ever see them. They exist, but they're so quiet. My last name, my family name is Lux, which is the German for lynx. So some ancestor of mine had something to do with the lynxes, either admired them or was like a lynx, or maybe hunted them. Yeah, the name then goes way back. Let's see, we get foxes. We get wild boar here. The babies are really cute. Little schnuffly things. We have badgers. A little known fact, the Dachshund, the dog. Hund means in German
oh, chapel. 8 animals.
Demonstration was in 10 minutes time.
But hello? Hello! But, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Black Forest Cherokee demonstration. Welcome to the Black Forest. Today I will teach you how to assemble the Black Forest Cherokee. Before we start, of course, explaining about history. So, Joseph Keller is the inventor. Keller was a German pastry chef. He created this cake in 1915, 110 years ago already, and he called this cake Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte or Black Forest Cherokee. It has also been told that this cake symbolizes the Black Forest costume, which you can see right here. And I showed this picture that everyone can see on TV as well. So, chocolate sponge cake symbolizing black dress. Whipped cream, it's a white t-shirt. And sour cherries, of course, it's a red pom-pom hat. Yeah? Red one was for single girl and black pom-pom hat was for married girl. Only question is why black color. Maybe you know why. Okay, ingredients: chocolate sponge cake, cream, sour cherries, soft cherry jam. Here I have a bit of chocolate. And of course here on my table I have the most important ingredient for this cake. It's a cherry powder. But of course it's not just flavored powder. This is cherry stuff, which is 40% alcohol. Nice stuff for nice cake, I guess. You agree? Yes. Yeah? Good. Also after demonstration, you can take your recipe card. This is for free. You can take as many as you like. Here we have recipe for sponge cake, for whole cake step by step, and a QR code which you can scan and see video how the demonstration if you forgot something. Okay? Okay. So I guess
Driven by the drug to the left, right? Now, based on that, some clocks you do have to wind up at least one time a day, so the clock is running is our called the daily clocks only 1 day once, and others have to be wind up at least 1 time a week, known as the weekly clocks only every once. Now, how do you tell them apart? You just have to look at the size of weights. Small weights like these, you will see only on the daily winding mechanisms. These have to be wind up at least 1 time in every 24 hours. Heavy weights like these, you will see on the weekly winding ones. These, you have to wind up at least 1 time in every 8 days.
嗯，哇，好涼啊！呢處嚇，好涼啊！你得喺度飲水？Kimchi is a Korean food.
But it's the same idea. It's a fermented cabbage.
嗯，喂，呢個湯都 OK 喎嚇，我以為好細添呢個湯。冇嘢，我就喺度行影啫嘛。平時我都影㗎。嗯？
There's some help food.
嗯。
Yes.